Welcome to the 20th installment of the Philosophy of Accountability. Fitting, isn't it? Because after 19 chapters of dissecting denial, misdirection, and ideological convenience, it's finally your turn to sit in the chair. You, sir, are overdue for the very medicine you prescribe to others, self-examination. For too long, you've postured as the counterbalance to so-called reactionary content. But in truth, your critiques often amount to nothing more than polite intellectual gatekeeping, sterile, safe, and ultimately inconsequential. It's time to hold yourself accountable. The philosophical gamer, for all his edge and irreverence, is not hiding behind abstractions. He names the disease. He mocks the apathy. He dares Gen Z to face the mirror without filters or hashtags. And that makes him more useful to this generation than any of your footnoted lectures. Where he is urgent, you are academic. Where he is honest, you are diplomatic. And where he calls for responsibility, you offer caveats and cultural disclaimers. If he is blunt force, you are deflection dressed in tweed. Let's talk hypocrisy, shall we? You mourn tears of the patriarch, yet you've dismissed legitimate male frustration as reactionary defensiveness. You critique Asmongold versus commitment, but when was the last time you committed to unpacking your own contradictions instead of others? You ridicule those who say careers are dead, yet you rely on tenure and consulting fees while scorning creators who dare build independently. You mock monetized outrage, but your traffic spikes every time you respond to someone more direct than you. You treat your platform like a pulpit, but rarely like a place for truth without euphemism. And let's not forget the irony of you critiquing the philosophical gamer's tone when your own condescension drips from every syllable. You say he's not helping? What exactly do your followers do with your ideas besides repost them with smug captions and zero action? The philosophical gamer isn't perfect. He's abrasive, confrontational, and sometimes ruthless. But he's offering a challenge to Gen Z that no algorithm-friendly pundit dares to. You're not powerless, you're not special, you're not owed anything, and still you can rise. That message, unvarnished and unfiltered, is saving people from nihilism in a way no symposium ever could. So Dr. Green, it's time to stop treating critique like a spectator sport. Step off the panel, drop the rehearsed humility, and for once, join the conversation not as a superior, but as a participant who might have something to learn. Welcome to accountability.
Thank you for the compliment. Truly. Being accused of elegance, wit, and intellectual cowardice in one breath is the kind of hybrid insult only the internet or a caffeine-starved sophomore can concoct. But now that we've completed our regularly scheduled roast of Dr. Green, allow me to demonstrate that my talents are not limited to verbal embroidery. I also know how to teach, to build, and yes, to hold fire without burning the house down. Welcome to How to Critique Without Becoming What You Despise, a masterclass. Lesson 1. Don't confuse volume with vision. The philosophical gamer yells because he believes yelling is what the youth need. And sometimes they do. But yelling is not inherently insightful. It's just louder. When your method of delivery becomes the message, your message dies the death of theatrical exhaustion. Accountability doesn't have to sound like a podcast recorded in a panic attack. You want results? Learn to speak so people reflect, not just react. Lesson 2. Context is not cowardice. When I provide nuance, it's not because I fear confrontation. It's because reality is rarely a single swing of the sword. The line between responsibility and exploitation, ambition and delusion, is razor thin in a collapsing economy. Pretending that Gen Z can simply rise, if they're only yelled at enough, is motivational theater at best and class-blind sermonizing at worst. You cannot yell someone into stability. That takes structure, not swagger. Lesson 3. Substance is a long game. You call me sterile. Fine, I call it sustainable. My ideas live in the syllabi of classrooms, in long-form essays, in policy briefs read by people with actual levers to pull. What does the philosophical gamer build exactly besides viral inertia? You mistake urgency for utility, forgetting that calling people out is not the same as lifting them up. If you want to help Gen Z, give them tools, not trauma dressed as truth. Lesson 4. Irony is not a license. Yes, I criticize capitalism while having a Patreon. I critique careers while holding one. This is not hypocrisy, it's survival. If you're going to play purity police, understand that the digital age forces all of us to hustle in the margins of contradiction. The difference? I admit it. I don't pretend that being outside the system makes you above it. The philosophical gamer monetizes rebellion. He just calls it authenticity. Lesson 5. Accountability is a two-way mirror. And now we arrive at the part you misunderstood most. I do hold myself accountable. I just don't do it in public for your applause. I revise. I adapt. I mentor quietly. I turn critique into curriculum, not clickbait. I don't need to shout into the void to prove I'm listening. So go ahead, philosophical gamer, keep swinging your hammer. Sometimes we need a little demolition. But don't confuse breaking walls with building worlds. And to those who follow him, listen. But don't stop there. Ask what comes after the takedown, because critique without construction is just nihilism in a trench coat. And I'm not here for cosplay. I'm here to change the damn thing. And one more thing, dear viewer, before you get too comfortable clapping for the loudest cynic in the room, look at the body of work I've offered you thus far. 19 lectures deep into the philosophy of accountability, each one a scalpel, not a sledgehammer, designed to peel back the bloated ego of grievance culture. From tears of the patriarch to results may vary, I've traced the architecture of modern manhood, examined the performance art of digital disillusionment, and dissected the myth that stagnation is somehow noble if you tweet it with enough irony. These aren't just rants, they're X-rays. They reveal fractures no amount of bravado can fuse. Each title, each installment has been a mirror, unflinching, yes, but offered to those brave enough to face themselves rather than blame the algorithm, their parents, or the feminists. So before you champion the guy yelling fire in the theatre, maybe revisit the one drawing you a damn floor plan for the exits.